Hi everyone, it's the Awkward Girl Beth, and I'm here today with another league match. Unfortunately, I had this match when my computer broke, and when it broke, I'm telling you this right now, it was pretty much destroyed. When I mean destroyed, I mean it was just, I couldn't do anything. And the worst part about this battle was the fact that when I battled Cody, who played fantastically, by the way, I had a computer that was lagging, and I was literally moving at like the bit rate of like negative 500. So I'm going to actually incorporate that into this video when I'm editing it. I don't know where it's going to be. It's either at the end, in the middle, I don't know, somehow, because I've never actually done that before. But I put it in there because I want you to see how bad I was lagging. So anyhow, the battle would have been a lot faster if it wasn't for that. So I'm going to post-commentate this. I suck at post-commentating, I'm sorry, but I did rewatch the battle and I do remember what my thought process was, so I should be able to play with no problem. And I'm going to play with the music off because music sucks. So I lead with, after team preview, I led with Tuppy because I thought Blastoise did a number against this entire team, and I wasn't expecting the Smeargle League, but I decided to stay in because I wanted to go for an Aura Sphere, because fighting type stab, a fighting type move was super effective against pretty much his entire team, barring I think the Gliscor. So I had no reason not to go for it, and I didn't even expect him to go into Gliscor anyway, because he was probably expecting a Scald, which is why I went to Cradily. I didn't want to go for Scald because I was expecting it to have Storm Drain, which I learned later on that it did. So I activated his weakness policy, and I knew at that point I didn't want to switch. I was pretty much sacking Tuppy at this point. I had Fighting Stab on Hariyama and whatnot, so I wasn't worried. And seeing how little the Energy Ball did for super effective damage and whatnot, I was like, you know what? The best thing I can do, because he's probably going to recover here, is just keep going for Ice Beams and Aura Spheres in case he decides to switch, and do as much damage as I can to this, as it is at +2, and to pretty much get a safe switching into something else, because anything else on my team could take care of it. I wasn't worried about the special attack or anything like that, because I knew that Exploud can do some damage to it with Flamethrower. I didn't know, I had Ice Beam on it. Hariyama can go for close combat and hurt it. I had a Clefable can do at least, so I think 50% to it. So even Mega Metagross with Earthquake can do so much to it. So I wasn't worried. Like, I honestly knew that I had so many answers to this that I was literally, as you can see, continuously going for Ice Beam, Ice Beam, Ice Beam, hoping for a crit freeze. I mean, why not? Or a crit or something, but I don't believe I get it. I did get a crit there, but obviously, as you can tell, it didn't really matter because of how much damage I was really doing. But I didn't understand why he didn't try to kill me like he did now a little sooner, but I did as much damage as I needed to it, and I decided that this was the best time to go into Mega Metagross and get my Mega Evolution off, because that way I didn't have to worry about anything else coming in to take any of its hits or anything like that, and I would have all my stat boosts and whatnot, and I knew that this thing couldn't stand on it anyway, because if I went for Earthquake, I knew that would do as much damage as possible, and Earthquake did a lot to his team aside from the Gliscor and the Hippowdon, but I knew I would do something, because if he went into Hippowdon, the Sand would boost the Earthquake, and if he went into Gliscor, I wasn't really worried about it because there was so much more that I could do to the Gliscor. I believe I had Ice Punch on this, so I wasn't too worried about it. So after he went into that and I saw how little it did, I couldn't stay in, and I decided this was the best time to go into Torterra, because Torterra does a number to his team aside from literally the Gliscor and just the Gliscor, literally just the Gliscor. So I wasn't worried about it. And as he went for Fire Fang, I was expecting maybe Earthquake or something, but I honestly didn't care, because at this point, as you can see, him being max defense, it took the Fire Fang like a champ, and I was expecting Earthquake, honestly, because Earthquake does more damage to Mega Metagross than a Fire Fang would, so I was expecting that. But anyhow, I saw that this was a perfect time to set up, and when this Gliscor came out, I did the calc for it, and I checked, and I knew that I could live with the V-spread that I had. I could live an Ice Fang, so I went for Swords Dance to scout for it, and when he went for Sand Attack, I was just like, oh, okay, that's interesting. I mean, whatever, but at that point, I went for Seed Bomb because I knew it was neutral, and it would hit everybody else, and I saw how much damage that did, so I knew that one more Swords Dance would pretty much take him out, and I believe this is where I go for a Substitute, because, did I? I just want to make sure. I believe at this point, yep, I do. I was just like, well, if he had Ice Fang, he would have went for it already. So I was like, since he doesn't have it, perfect time for me to set up a sub. Now I can get my sword stance up because seeing the damage he did, I knew my Torterra could take any hit from this and have the sub still up. So once I did that, I got to +3, and I was just like, okay, I sweep now. That's exactly what I thought, because it was like, I'm looking at his team, I'm like, what can he do to me now? What can he do to me? Like, my substitute will take the damage from me, with my defenses so high, there's nothing he can do to me. And every run, what I find so funny, look, I got a crit, but the crit didn't matter. The crit did not matter. As you saw, it did like, what, 40% without it, and he was at like 50-something with the sword stance. The crit didn't matter. At this point, everybody was telling me, listen, you need to run rock polish, run rock polish, run rock polish, because it's so slow, you don't need sub, just run rock polish. And I'm like, by the time I set up rock polish, by the time I set up the sword stance, I could still be outsped by numerous things, and I could still be killed. So I wanted to, as you can see, Earthquake destroys the Scrafty, even with Ice Sponge, breaking my sub. I knew that I didn't need rock polish, especially since this team is mediocre in speed anyway. I was not worried about outspeeding anything. I didn't need to outspeed anything. And being at, as you can tell, with the two sword stances being behind a sub, once he broke my sub, it didn't matter because I knew for sure that I'll just be able to take out after he broke the sub. And then he goes into the Smeargle and withdrew it. I was like, okay, what was he trying to do? Put me to sleep? You can't put me to sleep. Maybe he was trying to set up rocks or something. I was like, okay, whatever, I don't care. I'm just gonna go for another substitute because what can Smeargle do to this? So I was like, let me just get back behind my sub. Let me just do that. And I didn't want to get greedy and go for any sword stances, so I go for Earthquake. And the funniest thing is the fact that sand attack, that minus 10% stat drop makes me miss, I believe, 3 times in a row on a 100% accuracy move. So I'm literally at, what, 90% accuracy, and I missed 2 Earthquakes. Two. And I'm just like, seriously? Really? Like, really? I can't go for a sub because that would just be dumb. Like, I need to hit this. So I go for it, and I finally hit it, and I'm just like, go figure that retarded sand attack that I thought was so dumb and I didn't understand the play actually helped them. Small gun hacks, and what can you do? And didn't matter. Still took out the Registeel. I knew this was coming. I honestly didn't care. And I went for a Seed Bomb because I thought that would take this out. I miss. I'm like, why? Why did I have to miss? Like, my moves are literally at 90% accuracy and they're all missing. I'm just like, come on. Like, I count this as a Torterra sweep because if I didn't miss, Earthquake would have one-shotted the Registeel. If I didn't miss, Seed Bomb would have one-shotted this. It would have been like 5-0 before I would have died. So anyhow, I go into X-Bow because, look at this. Boom Burst, Spike's Boom Burst just like rips holes in people's lives. I remember somebody recommended me bringing this and I was just like, nah, I don't need it. But look at this, it just wrecks. It wrecks, look at that damage, the solid damage. And at this point, I was like, what is he gonna be able to do for me? Just keep going for hyper voices, keep going for Boom Burst, just dent holes, just put holes. That's exactly why I brought this thing out. Just put holes in the rest of his team, because I pretty much got this now. And look at that damage. Look at that. It was resisted. And that's still solid damage for I believe he was a special defense investment, either that or he had an assault vest, one of the two. No, he didn't have assault vest. He had weakness policy. But look at that. Two hits instead. The crit, I don't think mattered. I could have sworn it did the exact amount of HP he had left, so I think it would have killed no matter what. So I was just like, boom, boom, boom. I want you in my room so that way you can explode. Kaboom. And pretty much I just sat here like, okay, he cleans up now. Now the only thing that probably could have walled it, if it could have, okay, what have you. I could just keep going for it. And then he puts me to sleep. And I was just like, really? We're going to play this game? What is Smeargle going to do to help your team win? What is it going to do? So I was like, he's probably just going to hazard stack me because what does Smeargle really run anyway? So I'm sitting here sleeping. I was like, alright, I'll just burn through the turns of sleep. And if he does have like any kind of extra spectacular move that I don't know about, I'll just sack want you in my room, bring in Hariyama, and then destroy the rest of his life. So either way, I was expecting to win no matter what. Like I knew I knew that with the Pokemon he had left, that there was nothing that he could do to me. I was sitting here saying, Hazard stack me all you want. Set up as much layers of spikes as you want, because by the time I wake up, you're dead to a Boom Burst, because obviously if he had an attacking move to hit me with, he would have did it by now. So I'm just like, go ahead, Hazard stack me. Just do it. Go ahead, I don't care. I have a Magikarp Fable on the back. All I gotta do is go for Moonblast. So this is like I don't care. So I wake up, and as you can tell, I'm going to go for the Moonburst, of course. And it takes it out as expected, and like it has pitiful defenses. And I broke its sash already before, and I'm just like, okay. Now all I gotta do is bring out the Hippowdon. Hippowdon ain't living. Hippowdon ain't living. He's physically defensive, not specially defensive. And even if he did decide to invest into special defense, I already know that I two-shot it. So I learned that from the first time I went Boomburst on it. So Boomburst, dead, gone. Bye! And at that point, I was just like, I win! Go figure. The one Pokemon I wasn't thinking about bringing wanted to be the Pokemon that won me the match. I mean, technically, Torterra is the MVP of this battle, because if he didn't miss those two Earthquakes and the Seed Bomb, I would have just legitimately swept with it. So I count this as a Torterra sweep, not an X-Cloud sweep. It was a Torterra sweep with an X-Cloud cleanup. And it was great. I loved the battle. It was fun. I was able to showcase what I wanted to do. I think Cody prepared okay. I think he could have done things a little bit differently, in my opinion. I think his team build could have been a little bit more offensive. But he did what he thought was the best. He told me later on that he thought his Sand team would do really good against me. So I was like, okay, maybe in a way. But I think I planned a little bit better, and I think that's why I won. But aside from that, Cody is a great player. I'm going to link his channel into my description. He's a really, really, really good friend of mine, so please check him out. He's a really sweet person, and I think he deserves a little bit of love, saying thank you. You did your best in this match. And with that, have fun watching all of me rage at my computer for being super dumb. Because I started typing and now it just sent it. And it's still not showing anything. This is ridiculous.